Hi friends, how are we doing? Okay, so like I mentioned yesterday in my first Bookmas E video where I'm just kind of giving you content, I talked about how I would be talking about all of the yearly TBR challenges that I'm hoping to participate in, as well as kind of like a loose yearly plan of like readathons that I know are for sure probably happening. So really quickly, readathons that I for sure am guaranteed to participate in is January we have Winterween hosted by Gabby Reads, and we have TBR-a-thon hosted by Leandra. There's a like January version for TBR-a-thon similar to TBR Harvest that happens in like the October time. And I'm not sure yet if I'm just gonna do the January or if I'm gonna try like Map of Stories and do like the year-long challenges or whatnot. I'm gonna kind of play that by ear, but I do for sure plan to at least participate in January. And then I don't think I have anything crazy going on in February except for like my birthday month. I do have a little thing going on that I'll announce a little bit later in January. And then March we have Realmathon. April is going to be Aurelium, and then May we've got hopefully return of Escape the Readathon, June the Amazing Readathon, and then we've got July, which is Summerween, and I believe Katie Colson's bringing back Sunrise on the Readathon, which is like a Hunger Games themed readathon. August is previously when Aurelium happened, but now it's in September, so I think August is just Jan's full moon. September is busy. September is Aurelium, Rebellion-a-thon, and Mystic Readathon. And there's going to be more sprinkled out, but these are for sure the ones that I know I do. October has Fablin. I believe it's going to have TBR Harvest again. Hopefully, Lexi will return with Hallow Weekend. And then I'm probably going to chill November, December. November might have Ivy's D&D inspired readathon. That might be October. I don't know. It's all up in the air, but like loosely I have plans to participate in so many readathons again. They truly make my reading more exciting, just like having to gamify things, having like, you know, unlimited choice of books, but like having something help pick the TBRs. So that leads us into my yearly stuff, where these are events that are going on for the whole year, so I don't have to rush through anything. It's not crazy high expectations. One of them is a little bit. And the first one I'll start off with is a little bit more intense. I think I need to read about 20 books to complete this year, but Romanceopoly, which is a very fun like university map where you pick a major, a minor, and then you can do like electives, clubs, sporting events, whatever have you, all themed around like romance tropes. So you've got your core curriculum, and then you've got I'm doing the romantasy and the paranormal because those are my more interested topics when it comes to romance in my books. So those are kind of my tentative plans. I haven't delved too deep into it, but anything that has a storygraph challenge, you bet your bottom I have signed up for it. I love being able to track challenges in Storygraph specifically. I find that it's really helpful and also a wonderful place for inspiration because other people are putting in their options, so you can kind of see what other people are making work for it. So I find that very helpful. So I'm really looking forward to this. I already incorporated it into my new TBR game, which is going to come soon. Very excited for that. So yeah, I'm really nervous for Romanceopoly because I'm scared it's one of those things that if I don't actively prioritize it and like check in constantly, I'm going to kind of forget or fall off. But I'm also hoping that I'll read enough romantasy and paranormal romance that it'll kind of make up for it at the end of the year either way, since it's not like a super strict thing. But I am excited for this. And also, whilst we're here, before I jump into the next one, I'm not going over like hard TBRs for anything because we'll be here for too long. So we're just going to keep it to what I'm participating in, and then I'll show you my tentative TBRs. But my tentative TBRs are subject to change. I more often than not pick them either the month of, or I will pick them retroactively. Like I'll go back through and be like, well, I read this in that month and it works for that prompt kind of thing. So anyways, moving on, we've got the Buzzword Reading Challenge, the Buzzword-a-thon hosted by Books and Lala. I have participated in this since 2021, since I started my channel, which is crazy. It was one of my really big inspirations when I started reading. My very first book haul ever was because of the Buzzword-a-thon. Like I picked books that would work for the first one, which is, you know, cute and sweet. It's very simple. There's also a cover challenge now. So these are my two tentative TBRs, which I am actually pretty excited about. I'm double dipping in some of these year-long challenges because obviously, although I am hoping to read 200 plus books, it's not a guarantee. And so I'm double dipping just enough that it feels manageable while still giving me a lot of flexibility and like Obviously I can switch them out at any point when I feel it's necessary, but also gets me excited to read these books that I kind of maybe are forgetting about or are new releases I want to like stay on track with. So yeah, I'm very excited about both Buzzwordathon and the cover prompts. Tricky this year. There were a few that Kayla gave us that I was like, these are not easy ones. I think I've got pretty solid TBRs for both of them that I'm very excited about. I did not complete the 2025 Buzzwordathon. I think I missed 2 months or like 1 month on each. So I think I missed November's cover and I think June's title. So hopefully this year I win and I complete the board. And then moving on, we've got 3 different genre-specific bingo boards. We've got Covers with Cassidy's Romantasy Bingo. I already have a full TBR for this, so if you want to check that out, it's all up there. And then there's Alexis Fully Booked, who does the thriller mystery, which is new this year. And then we have Sarah over at Wicked Reading. She has the horror, which Sarah and Cassidy's had already started, so I've kind of already made some progress in both of them, but I'm hoping to finish them before October and November respectively. And then I believe you could technically start the thriller one at any point, but I'm probably just gonna wait until the new year and start it then. And then also our fantasy is happening. It ends in March, so April 1st I'll have a new TBR and I'll probably film one for that as well, even though I never really stick to the TBRs. They're kind of just for fun, but they give you guys ideas and that's really the point, right? So yes, I will also be eventually giving you an update on our fantasy. I only have 2 left to read before March ends, so I think that's definitely doable. So it'll feel nice to complete our fantasy all hard mode. Wow, good for me. And then the next one is maybe one of my favorite. Winnie over at Literary Diversions gives us Bingo Board from Hell. And I did it last year. And honestly, in some ways I so excelled, and in other ways I did horrible. Like my goal of reading 50% of the books I purchased in the same year, that didn't happen. Now you might be asking, Sam, as I see this board, why did you increase it to 60? I'm a gluttony for punishment when it comes to myself. No, I actually am planning to not only read books the same year in which I got them, but also I'm really trying to prioritize reading more off of my shelves. My finances have shifted drastically recently, and so I will not be able to purchase nearly as many books as I used to, which is fine and probably for the best. I'm going to limit myself to like a small amount of pre-orders, and then I'm going to try and keep as many book subscriptions as like feasibly reasonable for me, and those are going to kind of be my like book shopping for the year, minus like the desperate absolutely must-have books. But yeah, why was I talking about that? Oh yes. Definitely go check out all of these creators for like their version. So Bingo Board from Hell is completely customizable. You've probably seen a lot of people with their goals. They're like making their own bingo boards for the years. Cassidy had in her video that she wanted to read a certain amount of stars, and I said, I want to do that too. Because we're all, you know, just fangirls of each other and taking inspiration where we can. But I was crazy and I said, what if I read and I get to 1,000 stars? Is that too much? Maybe. I think I did the math where it's like, I think feasibly, realistically, if we're being so honest with each other, I think 800 is very manageable and practical for me to get to. But, you know, I gotta stay hopeful for getting more 5 stars than anything. So I bumped it up to 1,000, which might be too much, might be too crazy. We'll have to wait and see how that one goes. But yeah, I really love my bingo board from Hell. I had to like custom make it just so it fit the size that I needed, but I definitely recommend go watching the original and seeing the challenges they created for themselves, because I have read 20 TBR vets, which will be totally doable. I think for 2025 I had read like 10 backlists and continue in 10 series and finish 10 series, and I kind of blew a lot of those ones out of the park, so I kind of upped the stakes, so it's like 20, 25, just kind of increasing, because I know that I'm reading a lot, so that was kind of my thing. My big one that I'm really excited about for this board is the 25 Buddy Reads and Active Book Clubs. So at least 9 or 10, depending on Literally Dead Book Club. I'm gonna get like almost half, like less than half. So it feels definitely manageable. I do buddy reads with a lot of my friends, so I think 25 is reasonable, but like, hey friends, if you want to buddy read with me, hit me up so I can hit my goal. Just before filming this video, I actually found Ben's Read Good challenge, and I decided why not throw it in. This one definitely gets me a little bit more out of my comfort zone. You'll have to go watch the video to understand the prompts because they're all like puns based off the months. So you're gonna have to go watch his video so that you understand what they mean. The only one that I don't have slotted in is December's because that's kind of based off what my 2026 reading will be and like what authors I end up picking up. So eventually I'll have picked something out for that. But for right now, this is my tentative TBR. It's definitely still within my comfort zone, but also like out. Like, I don't really love Greek mythology, so Circe being there is like interesting. I've not read a Stephen King because I'm intimidated by the size, but I put The Shining on. I think the big one that I probably should talk about now, just because I don't have necessarily plans to like read these in dedicated videos or anything. The June prompt is to forgive yourself for some reading shame that you might have. And for me, I told my best friend in middle school that I read a book that she recommended to me, and I lied. I lied because I was embarrassed that I couldn't read it fast, and she was a speed reader, she could read so fast. I, dyslexic, couldn't read fast, was not really good at the skill. Audiobooks weren't really a thing back then, and so I did lie. And I said that I read The Graceling, and I haven't. And I still haven't, over 10 years later, so I'm gonna rectify that this year. I'm gonna right that wrong. And this will forgive my shame for lying to my friend way back in the day, who I hope is doing well. Another reoccurring, oh goodness, this one's embarrassing. So I participated in Rainey's series Takedown, and boy did I do bad in like the official terms. Like, I set out a TBR, I was like, these are the ones that I'm gonna prioritize, I'm gonna read these things. I didn't do so great. So I have a new tentative TBR for 2.0. I'm excited to see how this goes for me. I don't know if these all work for hard mode just because I was like, I just need to, read what I need to read because I do want to prioritize my series. Series audit will be coming. I don't know if we need to talk about that shame just yet because that's embarrassing. But I am excited for this TBR. A lot of these series are priorities for me that I've been wanting to get to or needing to get to or have kind of neglected. I think the big one that I'm really prioritizing in the year 2026 is the Ursa Dax Colony Mail Order Bride Alien Cowboy romance series. I think there's like 7, soon to be 8 books. And we're reading it over on the Library Dwellers channel as like a buddy read, Mia, Leo, and Richie. They're just, comfort, soup for the soul type books. Like, I had so much fun with the first one, Married to the Alien Cowboy, with them that I'm just really excited, and I think we're going to kind of binge all of them. There's Christmas ones that I might get to before Christmas or like around Christmas break. We'll have to wait and see. I'm very excited for that. So this TBR was kind of a mix of looking at my series and like what I want to finish and prioritize, but also looking at last year's TBR that I failed so horribly and like how I could kind of merge them in a sense, And the last like official bingo board that I'm hoping to accomplish. And if I don't get blackouts on all of these, that's perfectly fine. Obviously, I've set out TBRs to black out these boards, but we're just going to kind of see how the year takes us and like what we end up reading. I'm in low-key a pretty big reading slump. Like, I was hoping to read, so many books in this period of time, and that's just, I can't focus on audiobooks. I don't want to sit down and read a physical book. She's kind of going through it reading-wise, but new year, new me, I will read again. The last board that I want to talk about is Kirsten over at the Reading Nymphs has a 2026 challenge, and although there's like, of course, overlap, I felt like a lot of these prompts were pretty original and exciting for me, but there's also a few that I don't have picks for. So if you want to give me a couple recommendations, specifically for what chunky classic I should pick up, I have like quite a few in my brain. I already put Frankenstein on this specific board, so it's like, what else could I do? I have a lot. I could borrow some. So there's options, but I think I'm going too chunky and I maybe need somebody to help rein me in a little bit because I'm like, I could do the Count of Monte Cristo, I could do War and Peace, Crime and Punishment, and I think I maybe, as a non-classic reader, should like find a middle ground, But I also need a short story collection, so if you have one that you recommend, that would be nice. I usually read a few every year, so I'm sure eventually I will get to this. As for like the learn something prompt, nonfiction will count for this. I just don't know yet what nonfictions I'm gonna pick up. I have one that I'm actually planning to read tomorrow, which is Perfect Victims. Like, I don't know what ones I want to read. I don't have like a list of nonfiction to choose off of, and most of the nonfiction like that's on my radar often leans more self-help that I don't really need or have a desire to pick up, but I also really struggle with like what topics interest me enough to like sit through a whole book. So if you have some nonfiction recommendations, I would really appreciate it. But then obviously like finish a series, 5-star, reread, those are ones that I'm gonna have to figure out myself. I just don't know what yet. But there's some books, a lot of these books actually are books that were on previous TBRs for multiple years that I never got around to. And I'm kind of trying to prioritize a lot more backlist books. Like obviously, trust me, I'm gonna read the new releases. I've got, I think, over 60 now on my list. So I'll be reading, you know, a good chunk of those. But I do also want to prioritize some of those backlist books that I've really neglected. Like The Poppy Awards or Dreams Lie Beneath. So that's kind of my plans with this being a board especially. And then the final two things I'm going to talk about so briefly are the Hardest Reading Challenge You'll Ever Do by QWERTY and the Reader's Gauntlet by Bay Reads. Those are the two that I am participating in. The Hardest Reading Challenge You'll Ever Do is not on a calendar year. It's like a fiscal year situation. So that one ends at a different, I think it ends June or July. And I've already finished like half of it, I would say. So I'm tracking that through Storygraph, and those are kind of just put whatever I'm reading into it type of situation. I don't really go so serious with them, but I'm excited about the Reader's Gauntlet. There's a lot of similar crossover prompts. I know that some of them are going to be challenging for sure. I think the one that excites me the most is the scavenger hunt prompt, because you know I love for my 150th book of the year to do a little scavenger. So I think somebody already gave me prompts, which is fantastic. But those are all of the 13 year-long challenges I'm hoping to at least lightly participate in, if not accomplish strongly. But also keep in mind, I do read a lot of books. I have a lot of time to read. My job is mindless at times. It's a lot of data entry, so I can listen to a lot of audiobooks. So I'm very excited for all of these. I'm really looking forward to having a lot of TBRs and options so that I'm not forgetting about books that exist, because, you know, out of sight, out of mind. I'm really looking forward to participating in a lot of these community challenges, but also just like getting to read some really good books. That's the plan for 2026. I cannot wait. Let me know if you're participating in any of these, if there's any readathons that I should be on the lookout for as they start to pop up, and I will see you guys maybe not tomorrow. We'll see. I have to finish my script. But if not, I will see you guys Wednesday for a live reading sprint day. So I will see you guys then. Bye.